Welcome back to On the Record. We're here at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, which is one of my favorite places since I love to play hockey. And I'm here with Paul Browne, who is with Enterprise Ireland. And I'm guessing that you don't play hockey.
No, we don't. It's a completely different sport for us.
Probably soccer?
Soccer is the big one. We have Gaelic football, which is like American football, but slightly different rules.
Yeah, a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah,
you don't have the well, you don't have the helmets, but you kill each other anyways. It's more like rugby, isn't it?
Well, it would be like rugby. It's a round ball. We also do a thing called hurling, which is a little bit like ice hockey with a very hard ball, again without helmets as well. So incredible to watch. Yeah.
I'm just wondering what's in there that you do that.
I don't play it personally.
Oh, good. So Enterprise Ireland, though, let's get serious about it. Like, I mean, Hockey Hall of Fame, you're putting on an event. I'm in there. You have nothing to do with that. What you do have to do with is technology.
Yeah. So Enterprise Ireland is part of the Irish government. We're here exhibiting at WPC, the Microsoft World Partner Conference in Toronto. What we have is we've 12 very good Irish software companies on the stand with us and working the conference as well. Range of solutions in there as well. But really the reason why we're hosting them and taking them over here is that the more that we can promote business between Ireland and Canada, the better it is for the Canadian economy, the better it is for the Irish economy as well, which justifies the work that we're doing.
So way back when, I remember that there was a lot of call centers being set up and things like that, like in Ireland. Yeah. I know Dell went there, and who else?
Well, at the moment the big three that came into Ireland maybe 10 to 15 years ago was Dell, was Intel, was Microsoft. A lot maybe of the previous generation IT companies, very big plants doing very well. We've a highly educated workforce, of course, and that was really the beginning of the Celtic Tiger for us. You know, massive growth in the economy, and really taking advantage of the fact that you have good quality people there as well. What we're seeing now is that evolving a little bit. So you've got the next generation IT, you have the likes of the Googles, the Facebooks, the LinkedIn coming in, very different skill set. We're kind of moving away, like a lot of the economies, from making things to the knowledge and the added value. And if you look at Apple's plant in Cork, you can see that happening. Before, they would have built the previous generation Apples there. Now it's moved from assembly to software to marketing. You know, very much the kind of the IT skills, the knowledge skills that every economy is really looking to get.
Yeah, so way back when, I wrote an article about Microsoft, and it went into all the major newspapers and stuff, and it was talked about how Microsoft has decided that they're not going to fight the DOS back when that was happening, so I don't know, around 2000 or something like that, and they're moving out of North America. They're not going to sell any products into there, it said, and we talked about how they're moving all their technology over to Ireland. I bet you would have loved that.
Well, Microsoft are obviously a very, very big site in Dublin. They have other sites in Belfast as well. What's been interesting is to see how Microsoft evolve. I mean, both as a technology company and through 2 or 3 iterations. I mean, obviously there's a famous one where Bill Gates turns the company on a dime almost to meet the challenge of the internet, and now obviously they're changing again to meet the challenge of the tablets, what Apple is doing to the market as well. But what they're realizing and what they're doing very successfully is to nurture the ecosystem of companies around it. So you have a conference like this, you have 16,000 people here in Toronto, you have maybe 10 to 12,000 different companies, of which the 60 Irish companies are here as well. And what they bring to the Microsoft products is you have the generic stack, the stuff that works very well, but they bring it into niches. So you have companies that are doing niches in education, in health, in other areas like that, and that's really where they add the value.
So you're a small country, like 5 million people.
Yes.
And similar, there's a few others, you know, when you go out, as we call it, across the pond.
Yes.
Where's the education coming from? Like, is the government pushing the technology there?
Well, we've been very lucky historically to have a very strong education system. So, you know, it's one of the things that we actually market in its own right, to come to Ireland to study, to gain those skills as well. But where it's become interesting is that because we historically, where we've come from, we still value the education. So it's something like half the people in Ireland have some sort of post-secondary, post-high school education, be that a degree, be it some sort of diploma on it as well, and a very much an emphasis because of the money the government has put behind the education system on technical skills, on engineering skills as well, the sort of skills that the companies need. But what we find is that people, and it's the American companies that say that, not just ourselves, is you're not just getting an engineering person, you're getting somebody who's kind of thinking outside the box. And there's a couple of companies, without mentioning names, but that have brought their operations back from lower value countries because of that kind of can-do attitude, because of that ability to solve problems and think on their feet. And that really is the value add, I think, for the people that in Ireland.
So do you think that the call center idea that was, that Ireland started with went out because you were too educated for it, and you're now moved into a much higher level of out-of-the-box thinking and stuff like that?
Well, I think every advanced economy, Canada, US included, is suffering from competition, or competition's a good thing, just if you're looking to do it purely on cost. And these industries that we've been very good at historically as a country that have moved on, if you're just looking at the lowest cost, lowest price, full stop, you're not going to be able to compete on that. Where you are able to compete is where you have the value add. So if you look at the kind of call centres that are still here in Ireland, for example, PayPal recently announced a big site in Ireland. So again, it's on the face of it's a call centre, but if you look at the work that they're doing and the value add that's there, it's no longer following a strict script. It's really about customer service. It's being about customer centric. It's about solving the problem and doing whatever it takes within obviously the company limits to make sure that customer is happy.
Yeah. It's a lot of dynamics, eh? It changes all the time.
It's fascinating to watch, and if you could pick any industry that you want to be involved with at any time, almost now is where you'd want to be.
So, if you were a Canadian or somebody from the US,
Yes.
and it was up to you to start looking for partners, would you go to Ireland for them?
Well, of course I'm going to say yes, but I mean,
Okay. If you said no, I was going to hit you or something.
but just to back that up, obviously I feel that very strongly. Partly because the affinities between Canada and the Irish companies here, we find it a very natural place to do business with. There's a lot of resonance between the two countries as well. We find that with the case studies we have coming out of Ireland and the UK, Canadians get that. They understand that. They can see the value that it adds. You've seen even when the companies are landing here over the weekend, they hit the ground, they feel at home. Canadians obviously very welcoming as well, but it's a place they can do business. But over and above that, if you look at the partners that are here, I'm thinking the likes of iQuid, I'm looking at the likes of FlexTime, Celtrino, P-Tools as well. They're all companies that have been here, they spent the time to get to know the Canadians, and they're actually winning business as a result of that.
I was just going to say, who would you, is there 3 or 4 companies other than, who would be your biggest success stories in North America?
There are, off the top of my head, companies the likes of P-Tools, who have people on the ground who do content management systems. And what's interesting about them is, on the face of it, they're very generic. There's loads of software to manage websites, but because they have that value add over and above the generic, the customer focus, the solution focus, they're doing very well here in Canada. I'm thinking of another company, Inishtech, which is fascinating backstory. It was originally part of Microsoft. It was spun out into an Irish company because we value the IP and we can do more with that. And they're doing very well in terms of allowing the software companies to actually earn money by securitizing it and making sure they get paid for the work that they do. Another company as well to put in there is FlexTime. So again, doing very well at the conference, making a lot of good leads, have a lot of good Canadian stories as well. And they allow companies to become more flexible with the workforce. It's no longer about 9 to 5 in any economy. And obviously you need software, you need solutions to manage that. And that's a great news story as well as being a success. People love the flexibility and the trust that they allow.
Yeah, well, we went virtual as a company.
Yes.
Oh gee, like 12 years ago or
Wow.
something. And yeah, so now we're just saying, okay, now what can we do that makes it even easier?
Exactly, and what FlexTime do is, for companies with hundreds of employees, for universities, for third level, they allow the management of that, and that works very well.
Sounds fabulous. Paul, thanks for being on the record.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, big guy.
Yeah.
I'm playing hockey later tonight for 3 hours.
All right.